So the piece of Ellen's and the piece that I'm going to read are maybe almost twins. I think they were created around the exact same time. When I saw this piece, it reminded me of this poem that I had just written, like the last spring, right? I had been thinking about this. I'd almost completely forgotten this time when I was in college, back in Santa Cruz. I had this kind of obsession with meeting my double, like the doppelganger thing. And as I understood it at that time, I thought like if you meet your double, then it's like matter and antimatter, and then that's the end of you. I tried looking this up to get a nice, neat epigraph for my poem explaining that, and nowhere did I find any description of it that's quite like that. But the Oxford Companion to the Mind had this to say about it. Indeed, the German folk belief was that the doppelganger was a harbinger of death. Close enough. So, that is the epigraph of my poem, Elizabeth, My Other. Elizabeth used to range round Santa Cruz a step ahead or behind me, off to one side. I'd catch a glimpse if I turned my head quickly. Or she'd speed off up the coast road in an old red deux chevaux. I'd see it through the battered bus window, shrinking into the distance as we made the turn into campus. Dry gold grass, barely stirring, soft-eyed cows cooling in the shade of a few live oaks. I know she was called Elizabeth because people mistook us, called me by her name. Wasn't I the girl from the party or the DK's show? No. Even my friend Kishka, when we first met, imagined I had this fantastic social life on the other side of campus. That had to be Elizabeth. I guess I envied her, but also she gave me the creeps. This one time that I cut my hair and it somehow came out perfect. There she was, looking at me from the mirror. Satisfied, unsurprised, and it broke me out. Clearly one of us had to go. But if it were put to a vote, I couldn't be sure I wouldn't vote for her myself. She was just that winning. My terror of meeting her in person always spiked with a dram of longing. In my cottage apartment in Beach Flats, a footstep on the stair could be a caller for the neighbor. We shared a porch. But the creak of the screen door meant the knock would be for me. Dreadful, that palpable unknown stood outside, knuckles poised. I would scream preemptively in case it was Elizabeth. And coming up the street, I feared to look up at my own window, lest I see the familiar head hastily withdrawn. Outside, I paused, one hand stretched out towards the screen door, and listened for an anxious listening.